Welcome to another edition of the Turnpike Sports Book Report. I'm Doug Weischadle here with Dave Weischadle. We're here to give you a whip-around look at some of the latest news coming out of the sports betting industry. If you're watching us on TV, you're going to be able to catch us on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV. We're also every Monday morning on our own website, turnpikesports.us. Every Monday morning you'll find us there on the homepage. Audio, you can catch us on Samsung Podcasts, as well as Amazon Music and Pandora Podcasts. Press releases, info at turnpikesportsradio.com. Please keep those coming in. We love hearing from everybody out there. This week, state and national reports. We've got a lot of state records that are continuing to come out.
More, huh? It's been a busy autumn. The records are falling like you wouldn't believe around the country.
And we're going to have even more next week as well.
Okay.
But we've got state records and benchmarks to talk about from Arizona, New Hampshire, Arkansas, San Diego. I want to say every time I say South Dakota, I say San Diego for some reason. I have a mental block.
How do you confuse South Dakota with San Diego?
Because I have SD in my notes right here.
God.
So I abbreviate.
Yeah, so you automatically go with San Diego.
Exactly. Wyoming, Rhode Island, and New York. We didn't have New York last week, so we've got 2 weeks of New York to talk about.
Okay.
Deals, we've got a North Carolina deal for Caesars Entertainment, a racing deal for Hard Rock Digital, as well as a social media deal for BetMGM.
Okay, good.
Industry updates, we've got licenses to talk about, we've got launches to talk about, we've got leavings from states to talk about. And at the end, we're going to do our legislative roundup with news coming out of Georgia, Mississippi, and Hawaii.
Hawaii?
Yes.
Really? Okay.
Hawaii's trying to get into the mix here.
Wow.
We're going to start talking state and national reports right after this.
Interest rates and inflation are out of control. Is your credit card debt also out of control? It's time to resolve your debt and take back control for a lot less than what you owe. If you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt, then you need to call us right now. Debt Fix Pros can significantly reduce the amount you owe, and you could be debt-free faster than you think.
I knew we had to do something. Our debt was growing.
It was getting out of control, and we just didn't know what to do.
We saw an ad for Debt Fix Pros. We called, and they showed us how fast they could get us out of debt.
It really was amazing, and now we're back in control.
Call now, and we'll show you how easy it is to fix your debt. The call and consultation are free. Call Debt Fix Pros right now at 800-479-3522. That's 800-479-3522. 800-479-3522.
Attention. If you owe back taxes to the IRS, watch this urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by hiring 87,000 new agents to garnish your paycheck and put liens on homes and businesses. They can even seize your bank account. The IRS calls it enforced compliance, and now they have the manpower to get you. Penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily. So call One Stop Tax Relief Shop and get the IRS off your back. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks the IRS has ever offered. And no other tax shop gets you more or faster approvals. One Stop Tax Relief has resolved thousands of cases since 2014 and saved clients millions of dollars. Call now for a free consultation. Connect with tax professionals who get the IRS off your back.
Call 800-605-0688. 800-605-0688.
One Stop Tax Relief Shop.
Welcome back to the Turnpike Sports Book Report. Arizona has reported their November 2023 numbers.
Well, Arizona usually reports a little later than the rest of the states. What is it, Arizona and what's the other state that usually is a little late? Is it Illinois?
Arizona and Illinois are usually the two last to report a month's numbers. But for a while there, Colorado was being late too, but Colorado's caught up to the rest of the country.
There you go. All right.
Here in Arizona, we have the state of Arizona reporting a new record total monthly handle of $713,000,000.
Wow.
586,000 and some change for the month of November. Arizona also became the 16th state to post an all-time high for wagers in the month.
Okay.
So there have been 16 states that have set handle records for the month of November.
It's absolutely been amazing this fall. I mean, not November's been great, but also September, October. I can't wait to see December's numbers for Arizona. They're going to be huge too.
And in the state of Arizona, FanDuel has passed the $2 billion mark for the year-to-date handle.
Okay.
Over in New Hampshire reported their December sports betting numbers were moving ahead in the calendar
Now,
year.
when you say New Hampshire sports betting, what we're really talking about is DraftKings.
Yes, DraftKings.
Because they're the only sports book up there.
New Hampshire reported its third straight month with at least $7.5 million in revenue, and its fourth monthly handle between $78.2 million and $78.8 million. Over in Arkansas also reported their December numbers, and Arkansas has now added on to the mobile industry. They have now 3 mobile sports books in the state.
Now, that's the entire state, or is that one of those states?
No, it's
where
the entire state.
Okay, I was wondering. I'm trying
state.
to figure out what state has. Yeah, we have mobile, but just when you're on the property of the actual casino. So
No.
Arkansas is total
Yes.
complete state.
Yes.
Okay.
All-time handle for the state past $700 million. Also was the second month with at least $5 million in revenue for Arkansas. South Dakota, otherwise known to me as San Diego, like I said at the top of the show.
Sunny South Dakota.
South Dakota reported their December numbers. They have a record monthly handle of $1.143 million. That beat the previous record of $1.02 million back in October of the same year, 2023. State's 2023 revenue mark passed the $1 million stage. I'm sorry, South Dakota, and the 2023 handle passed $9 million.
You know, all these records. I was thinking, I can't wait to see the March numbers. You know, I know I'm projecting out a couple of months beyond that, but for the betting has been incredible in the fall, and I'm just curious to see what March Madness will be like.
I'm curious to see what this year's Super Bowl brings.
Sure, Super Bowl is great,
Las
but March
Vegas Super
Madness is over a longer period. So
well, you also got to remember,
very curious.
March Madness is going to be in a state that's just launching their industry, North Carolina.
Yes, North Carolina. So that should
we'll
be
be talking about that later on in
Absolutely.
the show. Over in Wyoming, the state of Wyoming reported their December numbers. They reported that its 2023 tax revenue passed $1 million, and all-time tax revenue passed $2 million. BetMGM and Caesars posted negative adjusted gaming revenue for the month in Wyoming.
Oh, okay.
Over in Rhode Island, we've got their December sports betting report. State of Rhode Island reported that its all-time mobile handle passed the $1 billion mark.
Wow.
Yep.
Just drove through Rhode Island. So
Yeah, you blink and you miss it. It's that
I
small.
know.
The state also reported that its tax revenue passed the $20 million mark for the year, which could be making out to be the second straight year that it's had at least $20 million in revenue, tax-wise. Over in New York, we didn't do a New York update last week, but we now have 2 weeks' worth of New York numbers here. For the week ending January 21st, we had all 9 operators finishing with positive adjusted gaming revenue.
Yep.
The week ending the 28th, which is very interesting because it looks like this may be a $2 billion month again.
Wow.
The way everything is trending.
Those numbers are incredible.
Yes.
I mean, to see New York, the only states I think will like rival it and probably be better than it is if California or Texas get off their duff and start doing with sports betting. I mean, the amount of money that would go to the state would be incredible.
January's total mobile handle at the time of this taping
For
the
New
week,
York, right?
Yeah, for the week ending January 28th.
For the week, okay.
Yeah, but I'm talking about for the month to that date.
Okay.
They're at, let me get the number here. So we have the total mobile handle to the end of the month of January 28th. We still got 29th, 30th, and 31st
Yeah, 3 more days
to talk about. 1.81 billion.
Wow.
So, and you're looking at another week of $400 million handle
So
here.
probably in another week we're going to find out if New York hit $2 billion.
We've got 21 straight weeks of $400 million weekly handle,
Unbelievable.
$20 weekly gross gaming revenue, and also it was the 9th straight week of at least $30 million in gross gaming revenue.
Yeah.
And also in the sixth time in the last 8 weeks that we've had $40 million recorded in gross gaming revenue for the state.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see another $2 billion month coming from the New York's mobile industry. We've got FanDuel passing $15 billion in all-time handle with the week ending January
Let me tell you
28th.
something. February and March are going to be
Yes.
fascinating for New York. February, you have the Super Bowl, and March, you have, again, March Madness. So, you can't wait to see what those numbers are in February and March.
We're going to start talking deals right now. Caesars Entertainment announced an expansion of its relationship with the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians to bring their online wagering platform to the state of North Carolina when the state launches its mobile sports betting.
Yes. Which, is March 11th?
Yes.
Yep.
We'll be going a little more in detail in North Carolina. We got a whole bunch of licenses to talk about there. But for here, Caesars made the deal with the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians. It builds on the success of their 2 retail books on their Harris Cherokee Casino Resort in Cherokee, North Carolina, Harris Cherokee Valley River Casino in Murphy, North Carolina.
Okay.
Caesars will also have exclusive rights to mobile sports betting at those 2 casinos and on Eastern Band of Cherokee tribal lands in western North Carolina.
Great.
So they're actually making some good inroads there. But again, as everyone knows, with North Carolina, you need a written partnership agreement in place to go ahead and get some supplier licenses, operators licenses.
Yeah.
They already had this deal in place with the tribe. So it makes sense for them to do this.
I got to tell you, I like the way North Carolina does it when you have to have certain deals before you have a license. It ensures that you hit the ground running.
Yes.
Everything is in place so you can just start and go,
Over in the world of motor racing, we have the Daytona International Speedway announcing a partnership with Hard Rock Digital, making Hard Rock Bet the official sportsbook for the World Center of Racing and an authorized gaming operator of NASCAR.
I love the fact that, soon, very soon, that you could be sitting in the stands and placing bets on the people you're watching race. So it's
Not just in the stands, you've got the Hard Rock Bet fan zone now at the track.
Oh, what's that? What's a fan zone?
It's basically a little area where they can go in
okay.
and do activations, meet and greets, all that stuff.
I'm sure it's much
Yes.
more than a parking lot, but it's the fan zone.
And they're going to be offering unique, and this is according to their press release, unique money can't buy experiences. They're going to be giving away
Interesting.
pace car rides
Oh, see, that's cool. I
Yes.
like that. That's great.
and behind-the-scenes event access.
Okay.
So congratulations to Hard Rock Bet. They're expanding their reach into the motor racing world.
Do they have a car? A Hard Rock
That I
car?
don't know. I
have
know
to-
BetMGM has a car.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think of what casinos or sports books have sponsored cars that you see around the
Right now,
track.
the only one I can think of is BetMGM.
See, I don't know. I didn't even know BetMGM had it. So.
And speaking of BetMGM announced a partnership with X, the social media platform formerly known as Twitter,
Okay.
for display advertising throughout X's social media verse.
Yeah,
guess
I
you'd
always
call it.
see the the postings. I almost said tweets. The postings, and it says sponsored. So I'm assuming I'm going to see a lot of BetMGM on there.
Well, according to the release, the intention of the deal is to introduce a feature for X that will showcase betting odds and provide a direct link to BetMGM for sign-up.
Okay, that's
and betting
cool.
purposes.
I like that. Okay,
Yes.
that's cool.
So it's kind of an
So it's
interesting.
a little more than
yeah.
a sponsor thing. It's kind of an active kind of
It's
thing.
a
Okay.
embedded BetMGM
All right, good,
marketing.
good.
Yeah, this could launch this was supposed to be launching before the Super Bowl. By the time this airs, this is after the Super Bowl. No word on whether or not that is still the case.
Okay.
Also, if you look at what's going on, you're going to be using advanced algorithms from X to tailor content
Oh, okay.
for the individual users.
Well, see,
so
that
I'm
makes-
assuming with that algorithm that X uses,
Yeah.
you're going to see specific betting content for each individual
Well,
user.
see, that makes sense because there are different sports books in different
Mm-hmm.
states. So I that makes sense. Good.
And last deal of the week, we have Bet365 announcing a partnership with Scout Gaming for a free-to-play daily lineup product, fantasy.
Not sure what that means.
It's a fantasy game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So, it's, at Bet365 and Scout has already had an existing partnership with different types of products. This is the first one that Bet365 users can do for sports like football, basketball, baseball, golf, all that stuff.
Okay.
So it's basically they're adding on to the pick'em style type of game that every sportsbook seems to be adding on to.
No.
And, it's great to see them do that. And Bet365 is expanding in the United States.
I want to get more involved in the fantasy sports thing for baseball season. I've kind of drifted away from fantasy for baseball, but I want to get more involved in the fantasy aspect of baseball. I got the accounts for it, so I might as well
use them.
Yeah.
That's it for the deals. We're going to start talking industry updates right after this.
Every 40 seconds, a kid is reported missing. Find the Children provides educational material that teaches your kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs are very successful in bringing kids back home to their family. You can help protect our kids and bring the missing kids home safe by donating your unwanted car, truck, SUV, or van, running or not. We guarantee you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast free pickup, usually within 24 hours. Over 2,000 kids are reported missing every day. Call now to donate your vehicle. Donate now to bring these kids home safe.
Call 800-934-2260. 800-934-2260. 800-934-2260.
Welcome back to the Turnpike Sports Book Report. Going to start off our industry updates talking North Carolina. As we mentioned earlier, North Carolina, the State Lottery Commission has set a date for the launch of legal sports wagering in the state for March 11th.
Yeah, what is that, Monday, March 11th? Did I read that right?
I think it's a couple days right before the start of March Madness.
Yeah.
So
perfect.
Yep, perfect timing for that. We've got Play Live NC LLC, which is a Cordish company,
Okay. Yeah.
requesting a North Carolina sports betting operator. So the speculation there is we will see a live casino product.
Nice. Okay. I always like live.
Yes.
Live is great. We have the actually retail casino in Philadelphia, very close by. So
One of the other operators
had a good burger there,
Yes.
so that's why I'm always
The sports
that's
and social.
my judge.
The
of,
sports and social
of property.
yes.
I have a good burger.
The one surprising applicant for an online sports betting license was Underdog Fantasy. They announced they have a partnership with McConnell Golf and the Sedgefield Country Club. The country club hosts the PGA Tour's Wyndham Championship. So that's actually a great first step for Underdog to be a sports betting operator. Also applying for licenses, we have the two North Carolina tribes. We actually just talked about the Caesars deal with the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians. And then we also have the Catawba Two Kings Casino.
Okay.
They're also applying for a sports betting license.
I'm always fascinated by the start of a sports betting industry in a state. I'm very curious to see how many launch, day one. I'm very curious to see. I like the way Ohio did it when it hit like midnight,
12:01? Yeah.
12:01. Just everyone just launched. I'm very curious to see if North Carolina does that.
Well, if you remember,
I don't even know what time they're going to start. Did they give a time?
They haven't given a time.
They gave a date. They didn't give a time.
I'm assuming you're going to see noontime or maybe 4 o'clock.
Well, like I said, not a lot of people do it like Ohio did it because they did it 12:01. There's some, I think Massachusetts, I remember when they started, I think it was 9 o'clock in the morning.
10 a.m.
10 a.m.?
10 a.m.
Which is weird. That's like a random number at 10
Well, they
o'clock.
want to get rush hour out
So
of the way.
I
don't know the choice of that one.
But no, I'm always
yeah.
interested in the time and how many launch at that time.
Well, since this is a Monday morning or a Monday day that they're launching, I would assume it's going to be 9, 10 o'clock.
Now, I know it's the 11th is the official start. Are they going to have like a soft launch kind of thing?
Well, they're already
or-
doing sign-ups.
Okay.
So, it's really – remember I think we talked about this either last week or the week before where North Carolina, the Lottery Commission said, get your checklist done now.
Yeah.
So that when we tell you we're launching –
Well, one of the good things about North Carolina doing it when they're doing it is, there's a lot of states before them that have sports betting, and I think a lot of these operators have this down to a science, and they can start whenever they need to start, whenever the state gives them the go-ahead. So, there's not an urgency for a soft launch. I think a soft launch is more for the benefit of the new state, so their people can get custom and acclimated to the sports betting industry.
And also without any bugs in the system.
Yeah, I think the operators are ready to go. They can go at the snap of a finger.
Over in the New York Stock Exchange, we have Flutter launching their dual listing in New York.
I saw that all over the place. Yeah.
Very interesting to see what's
Did they
going.
ring the bell? They were up on that big stage.
I think they
that
did ring
big
the bell.
Dais or whatever they call it.
I think they did ring the bell.
I saw everyone up there.
So congratulations to Flutter.
Absolutely.
We'll see what happens if they're going to maintain the split listing. Right now they're on London and New York. They did drop, I think, the Irish one, the Irish Stock Exchange one.
I'm not sure. But...
So congratulations there.
Yeah.
Over in Pennsylvania, we've got Fanatics Betting and Gaming launching the Fanatics Sportsbook and Casino in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Nice.
Pennsylvania is the 11th state for the Fanatics Sportsbook and the second state for the Fanatics Casino.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of interesting to see them expanding there. Over in Maryland, they actually closed down or announced the closure of the PointsBet app.
Oh, okay.
Because they had both Fanatics and PointsBet running at the same time.
So this is more.
I don't know what they're
transitioning.
doing.
Here in New Jersey, we have the PointsBet. No, wait.
We have
PointsBet, a Fanatics experience,
right? But we don't have a Fanatics book.
Yeah.
In Pennsylvania, there is a Fanatics book.
You mean Maryland?
I'm talking about Pennsylvania.
Oh, Pennsylvania.
They
now.
launched.
Okay.
So they now have that, and there's a Fanatics. PointsBet Fanatics experience book in Pennsylvania, so I'm pretty sure that's going to be shuttered as well.
Okay. Yeah, no, I guess it's the whole
Yeah.
I have PointsBet on my phone, so I remember when some of these change. I remember William Hill switching over
to Caesars.
Yeah, Caesars. But the app or the icon on my phone just changed.
Yes.
It just how'd I get that? What?
And last but not least, for industry updates, we're going to talk Better, BETR.
Okay.
Better announced new market access deals for their online sportsbook and casino in Pennsylvania and the online sportsbook for Better in Colorado and Kentucky. The Pennsylvania deal is the first place that they're going to have the Better Casino.
Oh, okay.
So congratulations on the Pennsylvania launch of the Better Casino when that happens.
Great.
But mixed in with all these announcements of all these new market access deals, they've got they announced they had, let me get the list here. We've got Pennsylvania, Colorado. They have market access deals in Indiana, applied for a sports wagering license in Maryland, currently live in Ohio, Virginia, and Massachusetts. But later on in the press release, I loved how they did this. They announced they were leaving Massachusetts.
Oh, okay.
They weren't making any headway in terms of handle and revenue, so they're not renewing its license. They will be leaving that state. And
well, look, I think a lot of operators in the near future are going to make those kind of business decisions. I mean, we always look at New York because we're in that area. There are 9 online sports betting operators, and I think 4 of them control 95% of the marketplace. What do the others do? So, there's going to be some business decisions. There's market correction, whatever the economists call it, and we're going to see more and more of this.
And joining Better and leaving Massachusetts is WynnBET, and the WynnBET sportsbook in the retail side in Encore will still be under Encore's control. No change in ownership.
Okay.
That's it for the industry updates. Let's finish up with our legislative roundup. Starting our legislative roundup, we're going to be in the state of Georgia. Georgia has now passed their sports betting. The Georgia Senate has passed SB 386. The SB 386 was originally filed to not require a constitutional amendment for sports betting to become legal in the state.
Yeah.
However, the Senate passed it with the amendment saying a amendment to the Georgia Constitution is needed.
Okay.
So going to be fun to watch this one.
Yep.
But the bill, if it goes through, would allow for 16 mobile sports betting operators in the state. Sports franchises would be able to partner with sports betting operators, so would PGA Tour, Atlanta Motor Speedway, and the Georgia Lottery.
Wow, that's great.
So we'll see what happens here, but now with the Senate adding that amendment, I don't know what's going to happen in the House. Over in Mississippi, we've got a couple different bills going through, but Mississippi's House of Representatives passed the first bill by sports betting bill by 97-14 vote. That bill will allow up each of the 26 casinos in the state to offer online sports betting by partnering up with an operator.
I didn't know they had that many casinos.
Oh, yeah, they got a ton.
My
They got
goodness.
a ton.
Wow.
Well, and if
26?
if you read their reports, it's very interesting how they break down the sports betting industry. It's northern, coastal, and central regions.
Well, there shouldn't be any opponents to gambling when you have 26 casinos in your state.
Well, it's very
it's
interesting the way
ridiculous.
this had to get through, though.
Yeah. You know, we have gambling. You might as well go all out and actually make a lot of money for the state.
Well, these bills have to specifically say it doesn't expand online casinos.
Okay.
So, over in Hawaii, we've got a couple different interesting bills being filed in the state of Hawaii. We've got
Hawaii doesn't even have a lottery. They're going to jump in with sports betting. Boy, that's like diving into the deep end of the pool.
We've got multiple bills being filed.
All right.
One will be to establish a hotel and casino on Oahu,
which makes sense.
Yes.
That should be a great place for a hotel casino.
Another bill will legalize and authorize online sports betting, just online sports betting, no online casinos, no nothing like that. Run by the Hawaii Department of Business, Economic Development, and Tourism. Bettors would be 18 and older.
Okay.
Not 21, 18.
They're going all out, huh?
Oh, yeah. Then you got another pair.
Let's do this.
You got another pair of bills, sort of similar, but they want 21 and older.
Okay.
So either way.
Which is the state that we just went to 19, which talk about a random number.
I believe that might have been.
I can't remember. We talked about it last week or 2 weeks ago. I can't remember.
I don't remember. I don't want to say Alabama because they don't
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
So I have to go back and look at that.
But it's kind of interesting when you have two different bills, 21, 18. I don't know what's going to happen with either set of bills, but
it's probably why the other state went to 19. It was a compromise.
Well, that also works to the workforce area.
Yeah.
too.
By the way, putting it to under 21, that almost like especially 19. That really puts some stress on the staff there. They constantly have to card, or I'm assuming if you get carded, you have a wristband, because if you're allowed to gamble at 18 or 19, but you can't drink
right
until you're 21, so they have to figure out something how to do that.
Well, the 19-year-old allows the casino to hire under 21.
Yeah.
And that's
but
where
for
they
patrons,
need the workforce.
They're going to have to do some kind of like a bracelet kind of thing to make sure, you can gamble, you can't drink.
Or you may have to do something like what they used to do. What was it in Pennsylvania, Valley Forge, where you actually had to go in and get a day card kind of thing to gamble.
Yeah.
So there's going to be some kind of thing in that state. But here, it's 18 in one, 21 in another.
Okay, we'll see how that goes.
The last bill was kind of interesting to me. HB 2114. I don't know if this is going to fly. I don't think any of these are really going to fly right now. But HB 2114 would task the Department of Business, Economic Development, and Tourism with setting up a pilot program to license businesses in the state to offer online sports betting.
Okay.
You would be getting a pilot license kind of thing for sports betting, and they would run it until the end of 2025.
Well, it's a good way to, see how it'll work, see the effect it would have on the citizens of Hawaii, but should be interesting.
then the project would end July of 2028, and reports would have to be filed by then.
Sure.
So I don't know if there's any hope for Hawaii right now.
I don't know. We'll see.
I would have thought maybe start
They're
small.
talking about it. The first step is important. Yeah, they're talking about it.
I wonder how many of the resorts that are already there, just the plain hotel resorts, would be interested in a gambling license.
All would.
I don't know. I don't know.
All of them
There
would.
seems to be
All of them
some
would.
sort of hesitancy
I don't
for
know.
them to
I don't
actually
know.
become.
They all. My feeling is they all would. So
We'll see what happens, but that's it for this week's Turnpike Sports Book Report. As always, if you've been watching on TV, there's been a ticker flying by with news stories that we didn't have a chance to cover in this half hour. And as always, once this is released, the show is released Monday mornings, you will see a full print version of the book report has additional news stories from both the ticker, from the show we just did, as well as additional news stories we didn't have a chance to cover. Again, press releases info@turnpikesportsradio.com is the email address to reach us at.
And that'll do it for us this week. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike.